Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the TBM crew. Today I'm with my lovely friend Laurie from the Horror Fan Club Kenya. How are you?
Thank you. I am well. I am doing amazing. It's been a while since I was back here, but as usual,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure
I
being
missed
here.
you. Where were you?
Oh, I missed you. I've been up and about trying to force the horror genre into people.
I love your
Yeah.
videos of the 30-second African legends. I love it.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you. I usually see you do it to them, and that's amazing. And I feel so honored. Thank you. There's more to come. There's more to come.
Yes, everyone need to check it out. We link everything below. And today you have an amazing story to tell us.
Yes. Today I
Yes.
want to talk because I think whenever everybody hears about Africa and
Yes.
more specifically Kenya, the first thought that comes into their mind is lions.
Yeah.
So today,
Lions.
yeah, I want to talk about a true story that happened. A lot of people think this is an urban legend, but it's a true story that happened in the
Mhm.
early 1898, if I'm not wrong. And
Okay.
it was dubbed the Savo man-eaters.
Mhm.
Basically the Tsavo man-eating lions. So a little bit of history about Kenya. Like this was a period where we were still being colonized, and like foreign people were coming into Kenya and trying to live them up.
Yes.
So during these colonial times, that was when Kenya's railway was being built. The railway, extends from the port, the coastal areas of Kenya, which is Mombasa.
Mhm.
This is where like Indians and a lot of Asian and British people used to come in through. So the rail was to come from that area of the coast to all the way to the other end of Kenya, which is Lake Victoria, which is more interior
Okay.
to Kenya. So during this time,
Mhm.
when they got somewhere into the middle, both the Indian workers and the Kenyan workers, because these are people who are going, who are like the manpower for this
Yes.
what I can this railway task force, uh, encountered two man-eating lions, and these lions were maneless lions. Like if you're into wildlife, you will realize that um, maneless lions are not given like a pride. They're
Yes.
basically just like rogue lions. They never have like a pride to call their own, because whenever a lion is in a pride, it is the females who do the hunting. So these two
Yes.
male
Mhm.
lions were sort of like removed from their pride and
Hmm.
treated as outcasts. So um, basically what they did was they started to attack the workers. They started to eat workers. They devoured the workers, and records have it
Hmm.
like since there were two. One, the reasons that they were attacking people was one of them had like sort of like a bad tooth, so it couldn't hunt like normal prey, like gazelles, zebras, or
Yeah.
antelopes. So basically it chose like a more weaker prey, which is us. Clearly humans are
Yeah.
weaker prey. We have nothing to defend ourselves against.
Yeah.
If we remove technology, basically we have no way to protect ourselves from like nature itself.
Yeah. No,
So
we're
that's one
useless.
reason. Yeah, we are weak. We are a weak. If it wasn't for our brain, we are very weak when it comes to food chain. Another reason was like during this time, um, there was like sort of like a flu that affected cattle. So sort
Uh-huh.
of like it made cattle a weaker prey. This sort of like, and who keeps cattle? Humans. So it sort of attracted these lions to
Yeah.
to us.
Mhm.
So initially it was just one lion attacking these workers. Like one lion would come in and like in the middle of the night and just grab a human being from their settlement and drag them and devour them. Later on, they started becoming more bold and more brazen, and now they
Oh.
started attacking in pairs. So what basically they would do was they would wait for like the railway workers to like get off the shift. They're in their houses late in the night
Yes.
after they've cooked, their fires are out, and then they would just come in and drag them. So people started like thinking like, what how can we counter this? So they started creating things called bombers. Like in Kenya we call them bombers, but basically they're like thorn fences.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yes.
you build a bush or a fence made of thorns.
Mhm.
However, that clearly didn't work because the lions would simply just like jump over them and come and get you. They got so bold that even when they lit bonfires to try to scare off the lions. The lions
Yes.
sort of like accustomed. The lions were more they sort of like knew what could harm them, what could not, so they would still bypass the fire and ignore it and then still come for you. So
Yeah.
eventually, over time, as at around as the year was ending, uh, British forces, who are like our colonial like overlords,
Yes.
started to intervene. So they had two huntsmen to hunt the lions. So what they would do, they would form like stakeouts on like top of trees or like
Yes.
within like where cattle and goats were and sort of like stoke them out. So I think one of these hunters was called something Patterson. He was British. So
Okay.
yeah, he managed to get the first lion in one shot, but it escaped
Uh,
wounded,
yeah.
and then it continued coming again. So this time I think he did his usual like stakeouts, and then finally managed to shoot it with its rifle like right through the heart, like over the
Yes.
shoulder heart,
Yes.
and it died off the next day. They found it dead the next day in the outskirts in the wild,
Yes.
and they took it back home. Then there was one lion remaining. This was, I think, one of the most notorious lions because it took like 11, nine gunshots to like kill it. Because initially
Wow.
it was initially it had like three gunshots. It escaped, didn't
Yes.
learn its lesson, came back, and this is where I think was more like horrific because the way it was killed was the next day it sort of like marked the person, the hunter who had the rifle,
Yes.
and it started stalking him. It sort of like followed him before he could like get to his hideout. So luckily this hunter realized it was stalking him, it was following him, so he turned around and shot it 6 more times, which finally no, 4 more times, which finally wounded it. It tried to escape. It escaped. The next morning, it found it came back to the homestead trying to find this hunter. So as it was again stalking him, trying to get to him, there was sort of like the bomber that I told you about, the thorn fence that was
Yes.
built. It was over on the other side. So mind you, it's already wounded by 6 gunshot wounds. So it was
Wow.
trying to like it was trying to like get over to him, gnawing on the branches, like it trying to eat through the fence because it couldn't jump then because it was again wounded in the leg. So it was trying to like come at him. He shot it like 2 times. The lion still continued like trying to get through to him, and then the final shot was what did it for the lion, and then it just died. And that's
Wow.
how they took the lions and went. And I think the exhibition is like somewhere in the United States of America, where now they showcase the two Savo man-eating lions. After that, now railway work continued as usual. Again, this time people are now more cautious and
Yes.
more aware of their surroundings. So yeah, that's the story of the Savo man-eating lions.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I can only think of that hunter. I mean, I'm not
Oh, he
jealous of
was.
him, you know. I have a psycho
Why?
lion wanting to kill me. It's like the shark,
Exactly.
that never
And that,
leaves you alone.
yeah, like it has to kill you. Like that was the most weird aspect of this all, like the
Yes.
tenacity of these lions. Like they they it was more, it was now less more about food than more about vengeance. Like they were just on a vengeance mission towards this one hunter who was
Yes.
tasked with
That's
them.
not
Yeah,
normal in animals.
exactly. It is not at all. But I wish there was more um like more explanation into what went, the psychological reasoning in animals. Like I wish I could understand this line. Like if you shot me once, I wouldn't come back to the same place to get
Yeah,
food. You know?
exactly.
Goodness.
Exactly.
Ah,
And they were only two. I mean, or they are alone or they are a gang, right? But these
yeah.
two, I don't know, it's everything is strange about this story.
Yes. It's to a point I found it was more. Uh, I don't want to say supernatural, but what would drive an animal to that point? Either it was sick, or one
Yes.
of my rational reasoning was maybe it was sick and had like maybe rabies, so that clouded its judgment. But clearly, I don't think we have no
No,
evidence
because
for that.
there's more animals to hunt. I mean, and dragging people. I mean, that's so disturbing.
Exactly. Like,
It's completely against their survival instinct. It's
yeah,
because they know that there's fire, there are guns, there are things, and they still get into and drag them out. I mean, it's everything is a strange. It actually seems something paranormal.
exactly. And the thing is, initially, these
Yes.
workers weren't equipped with weapons. So basically, what they would do to ward off these lions were maybe fire or sticks or shouts. But that still could not phase these animals, like to a point whereby they would drag people, one person from like their settlement with other people around. They would try to like shoo it to like scare it away, but it wouldn't. It would literally drag
Yeah.
its prey in front of all these other people. And I was like, wow, those are like, I don't know, they were just bold lions, to say the least, which reminded me of like a camping experience that I had later, like earlier
Yes.
on the past couple of years when we went camping to a remote area.
Hmm.
There were hyenas around. Luckily, we had a security guard.
Really?
Yeah, so like when it
Your
came
life
through
is
the night,
so interesting there.
no,
You make mine
we
seem
tried.
so boring. I went to a camping and I have hyenas around, but hey, all good. You just throw a rat to them even now and then, and they just leave you alone for a while, you know?
What? No, okay. To a point, maybe life in Kenya is a bit risky, but this camping
A
experience, there
bit.
were hyenas. There were hyenas around, and when it got to like around, let's say 11 p.m., almost
Yes.
close to midnight, um, we could hear like the hyenas laughing, like they usually laugh, so you'd hear the laughter just coming closer. When they got a little bit too close for comfort, what this security guard did was just light a fire and place it like outside each and everybody's tent, and then he would wake us up and tell us like, to make a little bit of noise, let us not go to sleep for like the next 1 hour until like the hyenas pass, and after that then we could sleep. And
All
that
good.
was, I think,
All good.
the most
that, that is crazy.
I know. Oh my goodness. Like it's so, sometimes it's so terrifying when you get
Uh,
to realize like at that
Is that
point you're
and
to
is that
death.
usual? I mean, you go to a camping and it's easy to find that?
Yes, it is very easy to find. Like when you go to the most interior, like if you know Kenya well, here is a little like tourist tip for you. Whenever you come to Kenya and you're looking for like a very authentic experience, don't use like
Authentic.
normal like
Too much
mainstream.
authentic.
Yes, like don't use mainstream travel agencies. Like at least know a local, and then he will take you to like the most interior people who can like immerse you into the entire experience. So yes, it's not normal, like on a surface level,
Yes.
but when you get to know places, like you can just get to see these things normally each and every day. Like I said in one of our lives, like sometimes even lions walk up into people's like apartments. There was once a video I saw like a leopard just walk into a hotel and just
Yes.
look around and leave. Some people found like a lion in there, like behind their house. And mind you, this is a suburban house. This is like a modern house. This is a modern apartment. They just found a lion behind like their house. Sometimes like you'd find a lot of wildlife streaming into people's settlements, because I think with the way we are growing in Kenya, um, we are encroaching too much on our wildlife. We are giving them
Yeah.
less and less of a space to stay and live their lives. So they just sort of sometimes spill over into our daily lives.
Somehow I would rather finding the lion than the hyenas, really.
No, neither
Yes,
is okay for
they
me.
seem like more, I don't know.
Rational.
Yes, hyenas are just awful. Beware of the hyenas. You know, it's
Oh.
I don't know. They seem like more. They can. I don't know how to say. More tricky, right? More that they can mock you. A lion. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe a lion just walking by. It's like, hey, bye. You know, but
No.
I don't know.
I think
Are you there, like, is there common knowledge of how what to do in these situations? I mean, when you go to school, it's children, when you find a lion in your room, what do we do?
you, there is you can do nothing. Like it's there. It's you and the lion. Like an interesting fact before I actually answer the question, like lions, leopards, the cat family of like
Yes.
wild animals will first kill you before devouring you. But like the dog family, like hyenas, jackals, foxes, they will just wolves, they will just maul you like before you even dead. They'll just like ripping out your guts when you're still alive.
You
A lion will
see,
come
I
and
I still prefer the lion.
okay, in hindsight, yes, but either way, both of them cause death.
Yes, but at least the lion is considerate. Eh? But
Yeah.
but for example, what I mean is sometimes you hear in the documentaries and all of that, like if you find this kind of big cats, if you run, they're going to chase you. But if you don't, maybe they just walk by if they're not hungry. You know, these kind of things. Like you just find a lion in front of you. What do you do?
um I think that's a lie because whether you run or not, if a lion is intent on like you being its prey, it'll kill you no matter what you do, no matter if like you run, if you stand your ground, like either way, it'll if it's intent on like killing you, it will kill you. So
Yeah.
it's more of like a huge gamble to take with your life, but I don't know. You can try using that piece of advice. If it works, it works.
Yeah. And have you
Mm.
found ever a lion in front of you?
Me
Like
apart from
randomly,
like
suddenly he's there.
no, I wouldn't say I have, but a friend of mine actually had seen a lion. Okay, but that was more of like he was stuck in traffic, and then one of the lions had escaped, and it was just walking along like the pedestrian walk, so it just walked past by. But I've ever met personally, I've ever um met like a leopard. We call them chui in Swahili in
Ah,
Kenya. Yeah, so basically where we like at my grandma's place, there's usually like a short stretch between my grandma's place and where we were sleeping. So
yes.
one day when we were walking around like leaving my grandma's place to go to sleep, like eerily the night was so silent. Like normally you'd hear like crickets, you'd hear birds, you'd hear dogs from
Hyenas.
neighboring homesteads, hyenas, you'd hear hyenas. But this night it was really eerie and it was so unusually quiet. So as we were walking, we just felt this sense of unease.
Yes.
So the good thing we were many, we were a lot. So we passed by a certain like bomber, like a certain thorn fence, like we were this close. We were this close to it. We just passed by, and it was on the other side. It was like sort of like stalking us. I think it couldn't get through. So when we got to where we were sleeping, the person who we found there was like, at first he was shocked. He was like, "Where are you from?" We're like, "We're from our grandma's place." Like, why? There's a leopard do walking around. What? Who
Yeah.
told you to come? That time I think we were still teenagers. Who told you to come? Did you not hear it? Like what? Now I think at that point that's when we got scared. We're like, why didn't you tell us? Why wouldn't you call us? We told you not to
Yeah.
leave. So at the next days when we found it had like killed one of my grandma's sheep and it had hung it the
Ah,
tree above where we passed. So we were like, well, we are just either plain lucky or that was just not our day. So that is the closest I've ever met, though I didn't see it, but there was evidence.
wow.
Yeah.
That really, really looks like very exciting place to be.
Nope. Nope.
No, but here never happens anything. The other day, because I live in the mountains, so I see all the animals, but it's nothing to be with that. I mean, you're talking about lions, and
Uh-huh.
here there's wild boars, but they're big, they're like that, they're
Mm-hmm.
huge. The back, they're huge wild boars,
Uh-huh.
and so it's not as scary as a lion, obviously, because you climb a tree and they can't can't get to you. They just
Yes.
just bump it. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, you have to be a good climber. But beyond that, the other day I was walking through the vineyard, and there was a snake, like this thick and green, like
Mhm.
mold green, so ugly, like just
Uh-huh.
suddenly crossed my way. And I already thought that's too big for this place. I mean, here there's no this kind of snakes. They're like these, like kids take them.
Uh-huh.
Look, I have a snake. It's dead. Look.
What? Oh my goodness,
Because
what?
they are tiny.
Uh-huh.
But nothing else. I mean, your country seems so much more exciting. Here is it's
I,
everything is so boring. Do you have
you
snakes in
know,
there? Like these big,
yes,
huge
we
snakes?
okay, not as big as that. Okay, it basically depends on the region where you're from. So where I am from, like Nairobi, which is the capital
Yes.
city, and the surrounding areas, the sort of wildlife that is around here is more of mammals like lions, leopards, giraffes, elephants. But once you go to like the western region, that's where you
Mm-hmm.
will find like very big snakes. Like I usually see them mostly on the news. Like never, no month will pass by that you will not hear like someone from the western region was killed by a snake, was killed by this huge python or this huge boa. It got to a point where these people were so accustomed to seeing these snakes, being around these snakes. Some of them
Yes.
started like training them, like training these snakes, breeding these snakes to like sort of like hunt rats, hunt small rodents in the farm. Some of them made museums showcasing these snakes. So if you go to the western region, that's when you find a lot of snaky activity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's it's like in Australia that I thought I'm
Uh-huh.
never going there
And
because I know a lot of Australians and that I have on Facebook and all of that, and they just post things, random things, like
uh-huh.
there's a picture, okay, and it's the TV and his feet, for example, and he
Mhm.
said, oh, it seems that a spider got into my home, and there's in the TV a spider like that in the middle of the
Yeah.
TV, like that, bah. and
Uh,
and he's like, well, he will just it will just walk away. No, because it's in your house. you know
exactly.
you need a fishing rod for that. Yeah, it's
Yes.
and in Australia everything wants to kill you. It's I don't
From
know,
the weather.
everything. And wow, but there's a lot of things like that. And I thought, once I asked a friend, but how are there still Australians? I don't understand, because when you're a kid and you're playing
Uh-huh.
in your garden, there's like a million tiny things that can kill you in 20 seconds. How do
Mhm.
kids survive in there? you know
Oh,
it's
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
I mean, at least you see a lion coming.
You'll never see like a spider crawl into your bed at night. Oh my, oh.
Yeah, can you
One
imagine
thing,
that?
I have this phobia of like insects. Like no, anything that is small and tiny and creepy is just a no. I'd rather battle my lions in Kenya and my leopards in Kenya than
And the
meet
hyenas,
spiders
I'm
and the
gonna dream with
hyenas.
them. Because do tourists live alive the country?
Yeah, yes.
Because, hey, let's go camping, we're in Kenya, let's go camping.
Yes,
you know
you're taken to some very like low key place that is very safe. It has like it's fenced all around. That is not camping. Camping is
exactly.
going in the wild.
Let's get in this prison to camping.
Yes. Or go to Australia. I would like to camp in Australia.
Whoa, we're
Yes.
never gonna make it.
But I'll just sign my will in advance and be like, my property goes to this person, and yeah, go camping. Oh my
I
gosh.
Wow, it's super late.
Yes.
We
Oh, we
completely
went
ran out of
past our
time.
limit. Yeah, but we're still okay.
Yes, we need to make
Yeah.
more of this. You have so many interesting stories
Stories to
and
tell.
all the
Yeah,
legends also. I want to know more
of
about
course.
them.
You will follow us on our TikTok page. We have more exciting things to do and
I
speak
love
about.
it. I can't help making
Yeah.
the duets.
Oh, I usually see him like.
Yeah, I love it because
Oh,
you seem so serious and focused. But
yes, yes,
look at Larry, they're all serious and stuff.
yeah. All I'm missing is like a long mustache and like a hat. I'm like, so you know. But in reality, I'm not that serious.
Are you okay then? It's always so lovely to talk to you, but we should
As
stop.
usual. No, yes, yes, we should stop. As usual, it is always a pleasure being here and talking about
Yes.
all things horror.
Yes, thank you so much. And we need to make this more often. Thank you so much for being
Mhm.
here. And we'll be tuned for your horror legends, African legends.
Yes, and more or less. Oh, before I go, I want to tell
Yes,
people we've rebranded our logo. I hope it looks amazing to people, and we are
it
tuned to
does. It
get
does.
more people join us and
I
follow
love.
us. Yeah.
Absolutely. You need to join them. They have terrific African horror material. You see, even the things that are not legends are scary.
Yeah.
Your camping stories. You need to make a series of camping
Ooh,
horror in
should
Kenya.
we should make a podcast about it.
Ah.
Oh my goodness. That's content. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to spoil. That's it. I'm done.
You're creating faith.
I'm creating it. Yes. Before I even divulge anymore, just end it.
Okay. Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day to you as well. Mwah. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye.